So in the morning, I've shared an Excel sheet. So can you see the Excel sheet now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are, in the question number 7. Okay. Is it, Kishore? Question number 7 is open. So you also can open this question on your laptops if you want, but just first focus,
Yes.
how we are going to solve it. So in this question, I'll just read a couple of questions, then I'll ask someone from you to read those questions. So these are questions, last time we had done question on pension. Whenever a person leaves the, job after completing his, 60 years of age or whatever, when he retires, so he's entitled for a pension. Okay. Now we are going to talk about gratuity. Okay, so a gratuity, what is gratuity? Okay, so first, before we go and understand gratuity, are you able to see this slide? Kishore, can you read?
Mr. Ravi retired on 15/6/23
Okay.
after completion of 26 years, 8 months of service and received gratuity of 15 lakh.
No,
At the
no,
time of retirement,
no. I'm saying just read this, which is appearing on your PPT.
so
PPT
the
दिखाई दे
PPT
रही
is
है?
not visible.
अच्छा, it is not visible. Okay, so I'll just make it visible. मैंने तो सारी विंडो ही करी थी, so I don't know. अच्छा, entire screen कर देता हूँ. Okay. हाँ, विजिबल आ गई है आपको?
हाँ सर, अब आइए.
अच्छा, चलो मैं इसको कर लेता हूँ. हाँ, ग्रेचुटी.
Gratuity is a voluntary payment made by an employer in appreciation of services rendered by the employee. Nowadays, gratuity has become a normal payment applicable to all employees. In fact, Payment of Gratuity Act 1972 is a statutory recognition of the concept of gratuity. Almost all employees enter into an agreement with employees to pay gratuity.
Now, whenever you are working in an organization, particularly a company, which employs a certain number of people, maybe 10, I'll just talk about and see what is the number of people which is given under the Gratuity Act 1972. I'll show you that. So, if you are having a certain people in a company, a certain threshold number, then those companies or organizations come under the ambit of Gratuity Act. So that means they have to pay gratuity to their employees if they have worked for more than 5 years in an organization. Okay, and gratuity is generally half month salary for each completed year of service. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Okay, so yeah, just read this.
Exemption in respect of gratuity, Section 1010. Retirement gratuity received under the pension code or regulations applicable to members of the defense service is fully exempt from tax. Employees of central government, member of civil services, local authority employees, any death cum retirement gratuity is fully exempt from tax under Section 1010(1).
Okay, so that means the people who are working in government or the people who are working in armed forces, whatever gratuity they get, they basically it is exempt in their hands. Okay, at the time when they receive this gratuity, at the time when they superannuate or they at the age of superannuation or at the time of death, then the family dependents will get gratuity. So that is exempt. Okay, other employees.
Covered by the other employees, covered by the payment of Gratuity Act 1972, any death cum retirement gratuity is exempt from tax to the extent of least of the following: rupees 20 lakh, gratuity actually received, 15 days salary based on last drawn salary for each completed year of the services or part thereof in excess of note. Salary for this purpose means basic salary and dearness allowance. Number of days in a month for this purpose shall be taken as 26.
So if you are, covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, normally you would be, because if you're working in a company and it's a large organization, so that company would definitely get covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. So any death come retirement gratuity is exempt from tax uh, to the extent of following. Can be either 20 lakh rupees, okay, least of the following. So the statutory limit is 20 lakhs. So, and gratuity actually received, suppose you have received 5 lakhs, and the maximum a company can give a gratuity of 20 lakh rupees, to the extent it can become exempt. Of course, there is no limit of gratuity. Companies can pay even 1 crore of gratuity, but Income Tax Act says that you will get exemption only maximum up to 20 lakh rupees. Okay. So it has to be the least of the following, either 20 lakhs or whatever you have received. Suppose you have received 5 lakhs, it is within 20 lakhs, so that will become exempt. But there is another number which you have to calculate: 15 days salary, half month salary on the last drawn salary for each completed year of service or part thereof in excess of 6 months. Suppose you have worked for 5 years and 6 months. Okay, then you will get a 6 years gratuity, and it will be half month salary for each completed year of service. Okay, so that means the 5.5 years will be counted as 6 years, and 6 years half month salary. Suppose you have been drawing, for example, a salary of 1 lakh. Okay, so which means you will get 50,000 multiplied by 6, 3 lakh rupees. Okay, so maximum exemption will be 3 lakh rupees as per this calculation of under C. So that means you have to calculate three numbers: 20 lakhs, which is already there, which is a statutory limit; gratuity, which you received, and sometimes the company can give you more gratuity than 15 days salary. So maximum limit is 15 days salary for each completed year of service. Okay. And now the definition of salary for this purpose means basic salary and DNS allowance. And number of days in a month for this purpose shall be taken as 26. Okay. So this is for other employees. Okay. Now the last case is if you are not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Then what happens? So I'll just give you when I go to the question, I'll show you that. Okay. So let's start with this question. Just read this. Can you read this, Kishore?
Yes, sir. Mr. Ravi retired on 15th June 23 after completion of 26 years, 8 months of service and received gratuity of 15 lakh. At the time of retirement, his salary was basic 50,000 per month, DNS allowance was 10%, DNS allowance was 10,000 per month, which is 60% of which is for retirement benefits, commission 1% of turnover. Turnover in the last 12 months was rupees 1 crore 20 lakh. Bonus rupees 25,000 per annum. Compute his taxable gratuity, assuming he is private sector employee and covered by the Payment Gratuity Act 1972. He is private sector employee and not covered by Payment Gratuity Act. He is a government employee.
Okay. Now, if we just read this, this act is applicable. That means Gratuity Act to factories, mines, oil fields, plantations, ports, railways, motor transport undertakings, companies, and to shops and other establishments employing 10 or more workmen. So if there are 10 or more people which are there in an organization, then the Gratuity Act becomes applicable to virtually all the organizations. The act provides for a payment of gratuity at the rate of 15 days wage for each completed year's service, subject to a maximum of 10 lakhs. So 10 lakhs is the limit under the Gratuity Act, but income tax says that the gratuity limit is 20 lakhs. Okay, fine. Anyway, now so that means, there are two covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Salary for this purpose means basic salary and DNS allowance. And number of days in a month for this purpose shall be taken as 26. So let's now calculate he is covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Okay, fine. So how much gratuity he has received? 15 lakhs.
15
lakh. So which is coming from here, he has received how much? Let's go to the question and check how much gratuity he has received. 15 lakhs. So he has completed 26 years and 8 months. So that means it will be counted as 27 years, and he has received a gratuity of 15 lakhs. So we'll go to the question. So he has received 15 lakhs. Now, less exemption under section 10, least of the following. Okay. Gratuity received 15 lakhs. Okay. Statutory limit 20 lakhs. The limit under the income tax is that you can receive maximum gratuity of 20 lakhs. Okay, that is the exemption part of it. Okay, so that means you get maximum exemption up to 20 lakh rupees. Gratuity received is 15 lakhs, so it is below 20 lakhs. So it's fine that he'll be getting exemption up to 15 lakhs. But then gratuity will depend upon the third figure, which is 15 days salary based on the last drawn salary for each completed year of service. So, and the number of days will be counted in a month as 26. So half month salary, 15 by 26. Okay, into last drawn salary. Now his last drawn salary is basic plus DA, which is 60,000. Okay. If you just check in the question, it was, his DA was how much?
10,000, sir.
10,000 is this. Basic salary is 50,000 and DNS allowance is 10,000. Just ignore what is written here, 60% of which is. So his basic plus DA was 60,000. Okay, fine. So 15 by 26, I've just put this into this thing. It comes to 0.5769. And last drawn salary is how much? 60,000 and 27 years, because he has worked for how many years? 26 years and 8 months. Okay. So here it will be 27. So we will, calculate this number. We go to the formula and check. So it is basically this multiplied by this multiplied by this. So you get 9,34,000. Okay, fine. So that means which is the lowest figure out of this? So what will be total exemption he'll get? So Raksha, how much? How much?
9,34,000.
9,34,000 the least. Okay. So he has got 15.
Why did we do 15 by 26? I didn't catch that.
If you look at the slide also, if you look at the slide also, it was given, and here also I've mentioned that the number of days will be counted as, just look at the last box. Suraksha, can you read note?
Note: salary from this for this purpose means basic salary and dearest allowance. Number of days in a month for this purpose shall be taken as 26.
So that means number of days in a month will be taken not at 30 but 26. Okay,
26.
Fine. So that's why we take half month salary for each completed year service, which I have mentioned again here also, covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Okay, salary for this purpose means basic salary and DNS allowance. Number of days in a month for this purpose shall be taken as 26. Okay, is that okay?
So we have, because we want to take 6 months.
6 months?
No,
No,
I didn't get that.
he has worked for 26 years and 8 months. Okay.
Yes, and we have taken 27 for that because excess of 6 months is 1 year. We
So
consider
27. So we have taken 27. So that means
Yes.
he will get gratuity for 27 years. How much? Half month salary. So half month
Actually,
salary
we
will
have
be
not
counted.
done 15 by 30. We have done 15 by 20. Okay.
And his salary was 60,000. Okay. So that means half salary of 60,000. Though it will normally come to 30,000, but when we do 15 divided by 26, it will come higher. Okay, fine. So his total, will be exemption will be 9,34,615. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So that means the least of the three, this, and this. So this is the maximum exemption he can get. But he has got 15 lakhs. So that means on this amount he has to pay tax. 5,65,000 will be shown as his taxable gratuity. Though he has got 15 lakh rupees, but he has to pay tax on 5,65,385. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Because
Yes, sir.
there will be a question in the exam where you have to calculate the gratuity. Okay, so remember that. Okay, so though it will be open book and you can always rely on this Excel sheet, okay, to calculate how it has been calculated. So it will be an easy job, but you must know how it has been done. Okay, now let's talk about he is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Okay, if he is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act, what happens? Then read this, Suraksha.
Not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. Salary for this purpose means basic salary and yearly allowance if provided in the terms of employment for retirement benefits. Forming part of salary and commission, which is expressed as fixed percentage of turnover.
So here, slightly different salary for this purpose would mean basic salary plus DNS allowance. Okay, which looks to be same as salary for the Payment of Gratuity Act also, but here only that part of DNS allowance which is part of the retirement benefits. Okay, so in this question 60% is part for the retirement benefit. So we'll take only 60% of the DNS allowance, and apart from that, he's also any commission which he is receiving. as a fixed percentage of turnover. So that will be also counted for the purpose of his calculation of gratuity for salary. Okay. Here the period is not 26. Okay. Here it is normally like 30, 31, 30 days. Okay. So let's look at it. So gratuity at the time of retirement, how much he has received? 15 lakhs. Though he has received the same amount, 15 lakhs, but suppose he is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act, then exemption we have calculated, which is 8 lakh 58,000. Okay. So taxable gratuity is 6 lakh 42. So we should know how we have calculated 8 lakh 58. So which is like this. Okay. So here we will be taking half month salary, 0.5. Instead of 15 by 26, we will take half month salary. We can just take 0.5. Okay. Average salary. Okay. Half month salary based on average of last 10 months. Here what we are going to do is we are going to calculate half month salary for the average salary the last 10 months. Fine. So what is the average salary and into the year of service. So here what we are going to do is we are going to see basic is 50,000, DNS allowance 10,000, 60% is part for the retirement benefit. So only 6,000 will be counted, not entire 10,000. So that is only the difference here. If you are not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act, only that part of the DA which is considered for your retirement planning will be only considered that and nothing more. So 6,000. Then turnover, he is entitled for 1% commission on the sales of the company. Okay. So which comes to 1 lakh rupees for the 10 months. So this is per annum. Okay. So this is 10 months it will be 1 lakh. Okay. Fine. So if we divide this by 12, for example, so it will be it will be, and then we calculate 1%. So it will be, this is, like this, 12, 10, 10 divided by 12. ये करो. हाँ, तो ये फिगर जो है ये 10 महीने की आ गई इसकी. ओके. तो इसका मतलब 10 महीने की जो है उसकी जो मंथली जो है वो आ गई, कितनी आ गई? 1 lakh. Isn't it? So this is for 10 months. Okay. This is for 10 months, 1 lakh. Okay. So if 5 lakh is salary, basic salary, 60,000 DA. For 10 months it will be 60,000. For turnover it will be 1 lakh for 10 months. So total salary for 10 months will be 6,60,000 divided by 10, 66,000. Okay, I'll just repeat it again here. His basic salary is 50,000. So he says average salary of the last 10 months. So I'm just trying to calculate the average salary for last 10 months. So last 10 months he has got 5 lakh basic salary. How much DA is got for last 10 months? 60,000. How much commission he has got for the last 10 months? 1 lakh, which I have calculated. So it is 1% of 1 crore 20 lakhs. So this is per annum. Okay. So I'm just calculating only for the 10-month period. So it is 1 lakh. So total amount he has got basic plus DA plus turnover commission 6,60,000. So if we divide this by 10, the salary will come to 66,000. Okay. So this is the average salary per month. Now how many years he has worked? 26 years, 8 months. But here we will not do the round off. It will be counted as 26. Okay. So here for each completed year of service, instead of because the preceding the month of the retirement, for each completed year of service. So he has completed only 26. He has not completed 27. So we are going to take 26. So then we just going to multiply this. Okay. So which is 0.5 into 66,000. Okay, into 26. So it comes to 8,58,000. The figure is coming 8,58,000. So this becomes the least. Okay. So if we take this here, then this becomes taxable. Should I explain again or have you got it?
Got it, sir.
Okay. So again, just to recap. So what we have done, this is a gratuity. We are going to calculate how much it exempt if he is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. The chances can be just 5%, but in case if you fall in a company where payment of gratuity is not applicable, in that case you are going to receive half month salary for each completed year of service. Okay, on the basis of the last 10 months salary. Okay, for this purpose your average salary will be basic plus DA plus turnover commission. So we have calculated the 10 months salary and then calculated his 10 months average salary. And based on that, we have applied the formula zero point 0.5 into 26 into 66,000. So that means he can be getting gratuity. Only 8,58,000 will be exempt. The rest will become taxable. So he has got 15 lakhs, which means this will be exempt and this will be taxable. Is that okay? Now, the third category is if he is a government employee, then whatever gratuity he receives, he will it will be exempt in his hands. Gratuity received in the time of retirement, 15 lakhs, less exemption, entire amount. So there is no limit. So a person who is working in a government organization, he will be entitled for 100% of the gratuity. Whatever he receives from the government will become exempt. Is that okay? Any questions? Okay. Now we come to question number 8. We talk about leave encashment. Okay, leave salary or leave encashment. Are you aware of what is leave salary or leave encashment? Anyone? Have you heard
Yes,
this?
sir.
Have you heard this phrase earlier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you work in a company, you are entitled for leaves, annual leaves. Okay. Normally, I mean, employees get 30 days leaves for every year. Okay.
Hmm.
If you have worked for 1 year, you will get 30 days leave, earned leave. Either you can go on holidays for, I mean, any number of period up to 30 years, and there will be no deduction of salary. Okay. Or you can even encash them. Okay, you can go for 10 days on leave and 20 days you can encash it. Okay, so let's understand leave encashment. Since you are going to encashing the leave encashment, so that means it will become taxable in your hands. So let's see, read this.
Every sal every salaried person, as per labor law, is entitled to a minimum number of paid leave every year. However, it is not necessary that an individual employee utilizes all the leave he is entitled for a year. In fact, most employers allow the employees an option of carrying forward such unutilized paid leave.
So that means, you can always carry forward also. It is not that, you are going to always take those leaves, but you can even take, lesser leaves and the balance leaves can be carried over to the next year. Okay. So there will be always a accumulated leave balance in your account to the extent you have not taken your leaves. Okay.
This would invariably leave the employee with an accumulated unutilized leave balance at the time of retirement or resignation from the company, as the case may be.
So you may either retire from the company or you may even resign from the company. You may have a certain amount of leave salary. Okay.
This compels the employer to compensate the unutilized paid leave of the employees. This concept is better known as leave encashment.
So this is called leave encashment. Okay. So taxation of the leave encashment.
Leave encashment received during service. Any leave encashed during service is fully taxable and forms part of income from salary.
So if you are getting a leave encashment when you are working in the organization and choose the option of encashing your leaves, then you have to pay income tax. There is no exemption in that case. Okay, they are fully taxable.
Leave encashed at the time of retirement or resignation. Leave encashment received at the time of either retirement or resignation is either fully or partially exempt depending upon the category that an employee falls under.
So it again depends whether you are a private employee or a government employee.
Leave encashment received by central or state government employee at the time of retirement or resignation is fully exempt. Leave encashment received by legal heirs of deceased employees is fully exempt. Leave encashment received by non-government employees exempt based on the computation provided under Section 10(10) AA, and balance amount, if any, is taxable as income from salary.
So that means if you are a government employee, then you are exempt from the leave encashment. That means nothing will be included in your salary for the purpose of calculating your tax. If you are receiving the leave encashment at the time of retirement. But if you are a private employee, then there is a formula. Okay, so what is that formula? I'm just going to show you that. So let's go back to the question here and see. Okay, so leave encashment. So this is the chart. Okay, leave encashment received during the period of service, fully taxable. Okay, received on retirement, whether on superannuation or otherwise. That means whether you retire at the age of 60 or you leave the company before attaining the age of 60 and you are resigning and joining another company. So you know you will get the leave salary at the time when you part with the company. Okay, so it can happen both for government company or any other employee. So for government, fully exempt. For any other employee, least of the following is exempt. Okay, so you have to calculate four numbers again and see which is the least one. Okay, so let's see there. So the maximum amount is 25 lakhs. So leave encashment maximum a company can give you 25 lakhs. Okay, that can be the exemption limit maximum. Okay, company can give you any amount, but income tax says maximum amount of exemption you will get will be up to 25 lakhs. Leave salary actually received. So least of the following. So if you are getting lesser, suppose you are receiving only 1 lakh, okay, it is less than 25 lakhs. So that will fall, you know, maximum exemption you can claim is only 1 lakh. But then you have to calculate two more numbers before you arrive how much will be taxable. 10 months salary on the basis of average salary of the last 10 months. Okay. So that means before you retired, you have to calculate what was your last 10 months salary and calculate your average salary. Okay. The last is the cash equivalent of the unavailed leave based on the 10 months average salary to the credit of the time of retirement. So that means how much leave balance you are having actually. You know, when you leave the company, you may have, you know, 60 days leave with you or 100 days leave with you or 200 days depending upon how much leaves you have taken and how much you are entitled for and what was your balance. Okay. So you are going to calculate what is the cash equivalent of the amount which you supposed to be paid on the basis of your actual workings. Okay. So you calculate these four. Okay. And then the least of this will be non-taxable. And then earned leave entitlement cannot exceed 30 days for each year of the actual service rendered for the employer from the service as he retired. So that means the leave entitlement cannot be more than 30 days for each year. Normally, most of the organizations, they give 30 days leave for every year of service. Okay, some may give less, some may give more, but 30 is the leave. But 30 is the normal norm in the companies. Okay, fine. So now here, so salary for this purpose means basic salary and DNS allowance if provided in the terms of employment for retirement benefits, and commission which is expressed as a fixed percentage of turnover. So for the purpose of salary, we have to calculate. This is the definition of salary for calculating these numbers. Average salary will
Uh,
be. Hanji, boli.
Sir, for private employees, there is nothing of dearness allowance. So what is included in that? Only basic.
In that case, only basic. Yeah. You know, there are companies which are giving, you know, some kind of a variable allowance, which is again nothing but a dearness allowance, you know, because every year based on some kind of inflation, they give your increase your salary. You know, some companies give you a salary increase of about equivalent to the inflation happening every year. So they always show it as a separate component. So that is nothing but, you know, a
Okay.
DA itself. Okay. But most of the
It's just a
companies, they
change
don't,
in name, might
only
be.
the government you get DA. Okay, fine. So you're right.
But sir, in private employees, while calculating this entire thing, only basic salary is being considered, or something
Basic,
other is considered. Only basic.
only basic. Yeah, fine. So now average salary will be determined on the basis of salary drawn during the period of 10 months immediately preceding the date of his retirement, whether on superannuation. So this average salary will be based on the last salary drawn during the period of 10 months immediately preceding the retirement. So now after understanding all this, now we can go to the question. Just read this. Who is going to?
Mr. Gupta retired on
Yeah.
Mr. Gupta retired on 1st December 23 after 20 years of service and received leave salary of 5 lakh. Other details of his salary income are basic salary 5,000 per month, rupees 1,000 was increased with effect from 1/4/23. DNS allowance rupees 3,000 per month, 60% of which is for retirement benefits. Commission rupees 500, bonus rupees 1,000 per month. Leave availed during service for 80 days. He was entitled to 30 days leave every year. You are required to compute his taxable leave salary, assuming he is a government employee or is a non-government employee.
Okay. So what I have done is, before we see his, his salary, basic salary is, how much?
5,000.
1,000 was increased from 1/4 to 23. Okay. So that means his salary was, 5,000, and 1,000 was increased from February 1/4 to 23. So he got 4,000 he was getting for 4,000, 4,000. And then, his
Same
salary got increased
from,
from this year. Okay.
from April.
Huh?
Yes, sir. From April it
First
has
April. So
increased.
1st April he got his salary increased to 5,000. Before that it was 4,000. Is that okay? Fine. And 3,000 was his DA, and 60% was part of for his retirement benefit. Okay, 60% for the retirement. If you can just see, 60% for the retirement. Fine. So for the purpose of counting this, leave encashment, we take only salary for this purpose means basic salary and DNS allowance if provided in terms of employment for retirement benefits, and commission which is expressed as a fixed percentage of turnover. Okay. So let's see. So here, that means his DA and basic salary is this much. So what we have done is we have calculated the basic for the last 10 months, DA for the last 10 months. Okay. His total salary would be 66,000. Now, if you look at, here, commission. So this 500 per month, why we have not included commission for calculating his last 10 months salary? Any idea? Whereas,
It's not a part of, I think it's not a part of that percentage of turnover. That's why.
it is not a percent as a fixed turnover. So fixed percentage, it is not a part of fixed turnover. So it is per month. Okay, fine. So he is getting only a commission of 500 rupees without any reference to the turnover. Okay, and bonus is not considered at all. So that means his average salary for last 10 months will be how much? 48, 18,000 and 66,000. Okay, 66,000 is his salary for the last 10 months. Okay, fine. So let's do the question here. So if he's a government employee, leave salary received at the time of retirement 5 lakhs, exemption full, nothing is taxable. Okay. If he's a non-government employee, then he is receiving 5 lakhs, but exemption under section 10 is only 26. That means this much will become taxable. How? Let's calculate. 5 lakh rupees, leave, statutory limit 25 lakh rupees, average salary per month 6,600, which is coming from here, which is basically, this figure which you have calculated here, 66,000 divided by 10, 6,600. Okay. So 6,600, I have just done this number divided by 10. Okay. What is the year of service? 20 years. How many years he has worked? 20 years. Okay. So 20 years. How many leave entitlement? 30 years. It is given the question that he will be entitled for 30 days. So that means 600 days of leave he is entitled for. How many leaves he has taken? 480. Look at this question. He has taken 480 days of leave. Leave availed during the service 480. And how much he was entitled for? 30 days leave per year. So what we do is we calculate leave entitlement, will be 30 into 20, 600, okay, which is this, okay. Then he has taken 480. So how much is the balance left with? 120 days. So 120 दिन की जो है वो हो जाएगा calculation like this, okay, which is this 6,600, okay, divided by 30 and into 120, okay. So which means 660 is 30 days this thing. So 660, 6,006 divided by 30, 1 day multiplied by 120. So maximum cash equivalent of leave standing to the credit of the employee is only 26,400. So this he was entitled based on the calculation, because he was supposed to receive only 120 days leave. That means only 4 months leave, and 4 months will be 6,600 multiplied by 4, which comes to 26,400. Or what we can do is we can take 6,600 divided by 30 multiplied by 120, so we get 26,400. So that means this much we will be exempt. So this he was entitled, but he got 5 lakhs. So for the balance he is supposed to pay this. Is that okay? Kajal, is that clear?
Yes.
Dia, other students,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
everyone,
sir.
Sanchin,
Yes.
okay, Tejasvi,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay, fine. So now the final question, okay. So the final question is very important, and be prepared. And such type of questions will be there in your exam, okay. Fine. So we will read the question, and then after the break we are going to solve it. Sorry, we are going to solve it before the break. We started at 9:30. Okay, fine. So Kishore, can you read?
Yes, sir. Mr. X retired from services of MSY Limited on 31st January 24 after completing service of 30 years and 1 month. He had joined the company in 1 January 94 at the age of 30 years and received the following on his retirement. Gratuity of 6 lakh, he was covered under the Payment Gratuity Act. Leave encashment of 3,30,000 for 330 days leave balance in his account. He was credited 30-day leave for each completed year. As per the scheme of the company, he was offered a car which was purchased on 30 January 21 by the company for rupees 5 lakh. Company has recovered rupees 2 lakh from him for the car. Company depreciates the vehicle at the rate of 15% on a straight line method. An amount of rupees 3 lakh as commutation of pension for two-thirds of his pension commutation. Company presented him a gift voucher worth rupees 6,000 on his retirement. His colleagues also gifted him a television worth rupees 50,000 from their own contribution. Following are the other particulars. He has drawn a basic salary of 20,000 and 50% dearness allowance per month for the period from 1/4/23 to 31/1/24. Received pension of rupees 5,000 per month for the period of 1/Feb/24 to 31 March 24 after commutation of pension.
Okay. So this is the question which is will be there in your exam. Okay, but the numbers will be all changed. So please understand and try to calculate how you can do this question. So the person, Mr. X, retired from the services of Messrs. Y Limited when on 31st January 2024 after completing the service of 30 years and 1 month. He joined the company on 1st January 1994 at the age of 30 years and received the following on his retirement. So this is all the amount he has. First, he has received a gratuity of 6 lakhs. Okay. So let's first, go to the answer part and just check here. So computation of income for the assessment year 24-25. So what I have done, I have just put the numbers here. Okay. 6 lakhs. So I just put all the numbers here because I'm going to make a linking to solve my solution. So the basic salary is 2 lakhs. So he's getting 20,000 rupees into 10 months, which is coming from Q9 G18. Okay. So Q9 is this figure. Q9 is kahan gaya? Sorry, question number 9 here. This is G18, okay? So G18. So G18. Basic salary is how much? 20,000, okay? And he has worked for 10 months because he retired on 31st January 2024. So that means he has worked for 10 months as an employee, and thereafter he retired and received a pension for 2 months for the balance of the financial year. So his salary will be 2 lakh rupees, okay? Fine. Is it okay? 2 lakh rupees. Then he has received DNS allowance, which is 50% of the basic. So in the question it is written that he is entitled for 50% of the DNS allowance per month. So which is 50% of this figure, 10,000. So he has received for 10 months. So what we are doing, we are calculating his total salary, which will be subject to tax. So he has received basic salary, he has received DA of 1 lakh. Okay. Then he has received a gift. So let's see. Somewhere it is written that company presented him a gift voucher of 6,000 on his retirement. Okay. Now, so it has become taxable. So let's see the note number 1. Read this note number 1. Um, Kajal. Or Suraksha or Dia, can you read?
Sure, sir. As per Rule 374, the value of any gift or voucher or taken in lieu of gift received by the employee or by a member of his household not exceeding rupees 5,000 in aggregate during the previous year is exempt. In this case, the amount was received on his retirement and the sum exceeds the limit of rupees 5,000. Therefore, the entire amount of rupees 6,000 is liable to tax as per requisite.
Perquisite. Okay,
Perquisite.
hold on. So that means the income tax, law says that if you receive 5,000 rupees as gift from your employer, either you receive or your family members receive, that is exempt. But if you receive more than 5,000, it becomes taxable. Since you have received 6,000, so we have, 5,000 in aggregate during the previous year. So this is a limit 5,000 in aggregate during the previous is exempt. In this case, the amount was received on his retirement and sum exceeds the limit of 5,000, which is 6,000. Okay. Now, that's why we have added 6,000 here because it was above 5,000. If it was, below 5,000, then entire money will not be included in this. Suppose it was 4,000, then we'll not add here. Or it was even 5,000, we'll not add. Since it is 6,000, we are going to add. Now, there is an alternate view. Read this.
Note, an alternate view.
Yeah.
An alternate view possible is that only the sum in excess of rupees 5,000 is taxable. In such a case, the value of perquisite would be 1,000 and gross total income would be rupees 7,27,769.
So because we have ultimately calculated his gross income, okay, which is 7,32,000. So we can make this 1,000 here. So we can take a liberal view that as per the Act, up to 5,000 is exempt. Beyond 5,000, the figure is taxable. But if suppose you are filing a return, then in that case you will take a liberal view. But strictly going for the income tax rules, you have to include the 6,000. Okay, fine. So you can even take 6,000 or 1,000, but you have to make an assumption. Okay, so you make either you write 1,000 or 6,000, both the answers will be okay, but you have to make a note of that you have considered up to 5,000 it is exempt. That's why you added only 1,000. So you can even make it this as a 1,000 also if you want. Is that okay? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So that means any gift given to an employee by the employer in aggregate up to 5,000 is exempt. Okay. So in this case, he has got 6,000. That's why we have included entire amount as taxable. But one can take a different view and include only 1,000 as taxable, saying that up to 5,000, up to 5,000 is exempt. So I am going to pay only tax for only the balance 1,000. Now transfer of car. So transfer of car. Let's go to the transfer of car. Oh, yeah. Okay, just read this, dear.
Perquisite value of transfer of car. As per Rule 377, the value of benefit to the employee arising from the transfer of an asset, being a motor car, by the employer is the actual cost of the motor car to the employer as reduced by 20% of WDV of such motor car for each completed year during which such motor car was put to use by the employer. Therefore, the value of perquisite on transfer of motor car in this case would be.
Yeah, so we have calculated that here. Now, if you go to the question, read this. As per the company, as per the
As per the
scheme,
As per the scheme of the company, he was offered a car which was purchased on 30th January 2021 by the company for rupees 5 lakh. Company has recovered rupees 2 lakh from him for the car. Company depreciates the vehicle at the rate of 15% on straight line method.
So, company has purchased these cars for 5 lakhs and they sold this car to the, X for 3 lakhs or 2 lakhs, sorry. Okay. So 5 lakh cars was sold for 2 lakhs, but the company is depreciating the vehicle at 15% on the straight line method. But whatever the company is doing, it is immaterial. As per the law, that we are going to take only 20% depreciation. Okay, state on a written on value method. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. So if you remember, we have done that at the beginning. I'm just going to show you the, the performer. So if you look at the performer, okay, so here the performer was uh, assets transferred. So value of, how do we calculate the value of perquisite when a company sells you a car or any asset? Okay, it can be either a computer or electronic items. Suppose a company has given you a computer or a laptop, okay, and then the company can say that you can keep it, okay, at a certain value. Motor cars. So this is important here. So depreciated value of the asset depreciated at a computed, at the rate of 20% on written down value of each completed year of usage. Okay, so that means this is given under the law that the depreciation has to be at the rate of 20% for on the basis of written down value method. So let's go back to the question here. So this is the law. So what was the purchase price of the car? 5 lakhs. Okay, which is coming from A7. Question number 9, A7. If you go here, and the price of the car was 5 lakhs. Okay, so I put it here. Okay. Then depreciation at the rate of 20% because it was purchased on 30th of January 2021. So first year depreciation. So the car written on value will be 4 lakhs. Then another 1 year depreciation. So car value on 29th of January will be 3,20,000. Then again 20% depreciation. That means the value on 20th 9th of January will be 2,56,000. So he retired when he retired on 30th of he retired on 31st January 2024. Okay, fine. So which means we are calculated depreciation right up to the time of retirement. So that means the total value of the written on value of the car is how much? 2,56,000. How much the company has recovered from the employee X?
2 lakh.
2 lakh. So that means what is the value of perquisite in the hands of X? 56,000. Company has given an asset which is worth 2,56,000 for only 2 lakh rupees. So the extra amount will be considered as a perquisite. Dia, can you read this?
Yes, sir. The rate of 15% as well as the straight line method adopted by the company for depreciation of vehicle is not relevant for calculation of perquisite value of car in the hands of Mr. X.
Okay. So that means we have not used 15%, but we have used 20% written down value method and arrived the value of the car as 2,56,000 and amount recovered was 2 lakh. So value of perquisite will be 56,000. So we have added here. So transfer price of the car will be shown as a perquisite value in the hands of the Mr. X. So he has to pay tax on 56,000. Now we come to gratuity. Okay. So let's go to the question and see how much gratuity he has received. Gratuity, just read this number 1.
Gratuity rupees 6 lakh. He was covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972.
So he's first of all he's covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Okay. And he got a gratuity of 6 lakhs. Okay. So let's go and just see the gratuity, how it has been calculated. Okay. How much gratuity he has received? 6 lakhs. Okay. Fine.
Yes.
Then the least of the exemption, least of the following. What is the notified limit? 20 lakh rupees. So maximum limit as per the income tax is 20 lakhs. Amount of gratuity he is received is 6 lakh. So 15 divided by 26. Here, because it is he's covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act, so number of days
Yes,
will be
sir.
considered as 26. 15 divided by 26 into the last drawn salary into number of completed years service or part thereof in excess of 6 months. Okay, so he has worked for 30 years and 1 month, so it will be counted only 30 years, and the salary will be taken, as average salary will be taken as 30,000 per month. How? So we go, what is his basic salary? 20,000. Okay. For the purpose of gratuity, it will be counted as 20 plus 10, 36,000, 30,000. Okay. So he's getting 20,000 and 50% of the salary is DA. So for the purpose of salary, it will be the basic salary plus DA. Okay. No other thing is counted. Okay. So 15 divided by 26 multiplied by 30 multiplied by 30,000. Okay. So that means total figure will be 5,19,000. Is this figure okay, Kajal? What is his salary? 20,000 basic, DNS allowance 10,000. So total average salary is 30,000 rupees multiplied by 15 divided by 26 multiplied by each completed year of service, that is 30. So when we arrive this, we can just multiply these three and arrive this thing. So is it clear, Kajal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now what we'll do, we will going to show this 5,19,000 here. Okay, fine. So he has received 6 lakhs and this much is exempt. So taxable gratuity is 80,000. Okay, so we go back here again. So gratuity is 80,000.
So from the dearness allowance, don't we take that value that is entitled for the retirement benefit?
No, in this case we take the full, if you remember here, but we did it in the case of, gratuity, we are calculating gratuity now. Okay, so gratuity ka ye dekho yahan. Covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Salary for this purpose, read this, Kishore.
Salary for this purpose means basic salary plus dearness allowance. Number of days in a month for this purpose shall be taken as 26.
And read not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act.
Salary for this purpose means basic salary dearness allowance if provided in the terms of employment for retirement benefits.
Okay,
yeah.
now,
Forming part of salary. Okay.
So that means,
Okay. So this,
so he is covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. So we have to simply take the entire salary, entire DA. Okay, fine.
okay. If not under the Gratuity Act, then 60% or that certain
Whatever percentage is
percentage.
mentioned for the retirement benefit, will be taking that. Okay, so you got it right.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
So now, which means gratuity 80,000. Now we come to leave encashment. Okay. So leave encashment. Let's see how much leave encashment he has got. Diya, can you read this leave encashment?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Leave encashment of rupees 3,30,000 for 330 days leave balance in his account. He was credited 30 days leave for each completed year of service.
Okay. And how many years he has worked with the company?
30.
30 years.
9.
So how many leaves he will be entitled for?
3 3 is 9.
900. 30 into 30, na? So
Yes.
900. So he has, availed the others. He has got only 330 to his leave balance, isn't it? Okay. So let's go to now and see. So we go to the leave encashment. So how much he has got? 3,30,000, which is given in the question. So what is the notified limit? 25. Actual leave salary? 330. Okay. So what he has got from the company? 3,30,000. Now 10 months salary into 20,000, which is his basic salary, and which is the second number. That means his salary into multiplied by 10 months. We have to calculate the four numbers. Okay, let's see here. Leave encashment. 25 lakhs leave salary actually received. 10 months salary on the basis of the average salary of the last 10 months. Okay, fine. Cash equivalent of the unavailed leave balance. So what we are trying to calculate the four numbers there. So 10 months salary based on the basic salary of 20,000 will come to 2 lakh rupees. Then cash equivalent of the leave salary. which is 2,20,000. How we have calculated that? We just go here. So what is the total amount of leave encashment which is left for him? 330. What is his salary? 20,000. So which means 330 divided by 30 multiplied by 20, isn't it? Which will be 330 days divided by 30 days, so 30 years. So multiplied by 20,000 rupees is his salary. So it is like this: 330 divided by 30 into 20,000. So 20,000. So that means the least of all the numbers is the 10-month number. So that means he is going to, this much will be exempt. How much he has received? 3,30,000. 2 lakh is exempt. So 1,30,000 will be tax equivalent. Have you got it this? Let me just show you here. Cash equivalent of the unavailed leave balance on 10 months average salary. So his average salary was 20,000 rupees per month. Okay. And he has got 330 days leave. Okay. To his credit. So 330 days and his salary is 20,000 per month. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll just calculate the number. Okay. Which will be calculated here, which is 330 days divided by, this is divided by 30 days. Okay. This is 330 days. So this will become, if you divide by 30, we'll get number of days per day salary and multiply by 20,000. So that means his leave balance will be 2,20,000. Okay. So we have put.
Yes, sir.
What are you saying? भाई उसके पास
No, sir.
330 दिन की लीव सैलरी थी, ओके, और उसकी सैलरी है 20,000 रुपीज पर मंथ. सो दैट मीन्स 330 डेज डिवाइडेड बाय 30 per into 20,000. So per day salary into 330, we'll get 2 lakh rupees. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना
हाँ
सर.
ठीक है, समझ आ गया ना. तो अब इसका मतलब लीव एनकैशमेंट विल बी 130. सो यहां पर चला गया हम 130 पे. So leave encashment 1,30,000 will be taxable. Then uncommuted pension. Now he has got 2 months pension. If you see the question, just read this there.
Received pension of rupees 5,000 per month for the period of 1st of February 2024 to 31st of March 2024 after commutation of pension.
So that means he has received 2 months of pension of 5 months. So this will be included in the salary. This will be included in salary, uncommuted pension. Now we come to commuted pension. Okay, last one. So let's see what was the commuted pension. Read this, fourth one.
An amount of 3 lakh as commutation of pension for 2/3 of his pension commutation.
So he has received 3 lakh rupees and he got 2/3 of his pension commuted. 2/3 commuted कर दी थी. तो अब हम क्या करेंगे इसमें? So we'll go to the commutation of pension. Read this.
Since Mr. X is a non-government employee in respect of gratuity, exemption under Section 1010A would be available to the extent of 1/3 of the amount of the pension which he would have received had he commuted the whole of the pension.
So basically, if you are receiving a commuted pension and you are a non-government employee and you are also getting gratuity, in that case, 1/3 of your commuted pension will be exempted. Okay, so how much he received? 3 lakhs. Suppose he would have commuted his full pension. So it was 2/3. So that means he would have, his total value of the uncommuted pension would have been 4.5 lakhs. After that, 1/3 would become exempt. So 1/3 is exempt. So balance 1/3, balance 2/3 will be taxable. Sorry, balance 1/3 of the amount when it have been received had been commuted as the whole pension. So exemption will be this much, 1,40,000. So taxable amount will be 1,40,000. So he received 3 lakhs. Okay. Had he received, he had converted, full amount, uncommuted pension would have been 4,50,000 because he converted 2/3. Okay, fine. So the total uncommuted pension would have been 450. After that, 1/3 would become exemptable. 1/3 would be amount of the pension which is exemption. Okay, so that means one
Yes.
lakh 50,000 is covered as exempted. So taxable amount will be 1,50,000. So you can just go and check here. Read this.
Cases wherein the employee receive any gratuity, the commuted value of 1/3 of the pension which the employee is normally entitled to receive. In any other case, the commuted value of half of the pension which the employee is normally entitled to
So that
receive.
means, there are two categories here. One is if you are receiving gratuity, okay, fine. Or second is if you are not receiving any gratuity. But if you are receiving gratuity, in our question, you have been receiving gratuity. So that means the first box will be applicable. The commuted value of 1/3 of the pension which the employee is normally entitled to receive, this will be the amount of exemption. So that is what exactly we have done. So he has received 3 lakhs, which was, 2/3 of the pension. So that means total uncommuted pension will be 4.5 lakhs multiplied by 3 divided by 2. Okay. So that means 1/3 will be exempted. So which is 1,50,000. So this is exempted. So this will become taxable. Okay. So I have included that here. So this is this thing. So total salary will be this much. So all this will be set, and then he will be entitled for a standard deduction of 50,000. Okay. So that means his total taxable salary or gross total income will be 6,82,769 rupees. Is that okay?